We're back, guys, and this is episode I don't even know. We've got Lord Maxwell with us today, so entrepreneur and catering company business owner. Is that good enough?
To me.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on, mate. You started with like reselling and stuff as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
So relevant topic, then taking the money and stuff that you've made, starting your own business, and sort of shows you what you can do. You don't have to be a full-time reseller forever. I don't think anyone wants to do that. But if you're smart, you make the money, you can then put it in something else.
Of course.
Exactly. So let's get into it, bro. So start from sort of where, like, your background, what you do, how did you get into it?
Yeah, so I originally started, I used to work for one of the biggest catering equipment companies.
Yeah.
And I was just churning, doing admin, sort of learning things from the ground up. So I was in the office, just sort of doing a sort of day job, just following up quotes, telesales, and then I was like an area manager for the catering equipment company. Started to build up some relationships, customers and suppliers, and then we just started went from there. I was doing that for about 2 years.
Yep.
And then lockdown happened.
Yep.
And I was quite happy doing my 9 till 5. It was, you know, I was sort of picking up enough money.
Yeah.
Had a nice company car.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of trap that they get you in, because you can live, you can't live.
Yeah.
Like, you can live day to day. You know, you set aside. You can have like your £400 a month to spend, £100 a week. You know, you're pretty happy in like a normal world.
Yeah.
And then, like, I always knew that I wanted to do something.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And then I just started, and I stumbled across reselling, really.
Yeah.
And that was like a bit of an eye opener, because you then realise that you can make money outside of a 9 till 5.
Yeah. And you can make, when you used to work in that 9 to 5, like, and you've done the numbers, and you're like, this is my hourly rate, and then you do reselling, you're like, fuck, like,
it's crazy.
I've just done 2 full days work, like, on one product or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, my eyes really opened when PlayStations got released.
Yeah.
And I think I made my monthly salary in like an hour.
Yeah. Like, it's insane.
It was stupid.
Like, I remember, like, we were picking them up, and I was sat with my family members. This was when we'd like just started Aftermarket. Sat at their house, like, it's in like Ramsbottom, like bit of a mutual way, and then like got like 4 eBay notifications that 4 had just sold for $1,000 each to the same guy, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
silly.
He was like, I need to come pick them up now. So I shut off, and I was just like, how have I just done this? Because that was like, what, probably like almost $2,000 in profit. You paid in cash as well. $2,000 in like a couple of clicks on a website.
Crazy. Yeah. So like my eyes was like well open at this point. I thought this is insane. I just fell in love with the whole concept of like buying and selling things that people really need. And then sort of, lockdown happened, and it kept my mind busy during that sort of hard period as well for, loads of people.
Yeah.
So lockdown happened. I was churning, buying and selling loads of random things. Hot tubs. Yeah. Love hot tubs.
They were so good. And
my friends still got 8. Which is
just sat,
just sat there.
That's a stinker, that.
Yeah, it's grim, that.
You should start like a little business, like just like renting them out.
We looked at that.
Yeah, I know people that did that.
But we looked at it, but like it was so much admin for like how much money you'd actually make. So you'd probably hire them for like 120 quid.
Yeah.
Like for a day. But then you'd have to go there, you'd have to set it up,
pull it back down,
and like, mate,
take your cash, spin it quicker, innit?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It was like with stuff like that, it was always just going to be. It was a bubble. It wasn't going to last forever. And like COVID completely like drove all of that demand, because everyone was forced into the gardens and like everyone just wanted something to do.
Chimeneas as well.
Barbecues, everything.
I was driving up and down the country in my van, so I had like Lordwell in my mind, and I was like, I think I'm gonna set up a catering business.
Yeah.
So I bought a van, and I thought, well, I could probably use this van to like drive them down the country and just pick up as many things as possible. Because if I could fit as many things in my van, because like the time was like the hardest thing, like because I was spending like 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. every single day just buying as many things, and they're all selling the same day. So if I just fill my van up full of stuff and then just drive back and then just rinse and repeat, it was hilarious.
And I think what I think, like, I haven't really thought about this before, but when you said then about like you didn't really know what to do, like how to do the business, I think when you resell, like you actually just like because you get used to like learning as you go, and just like you're doing it on your own, and you just sort of you start handling your own money. You're you're talking to customers.
Managing cash flow.
Yeah, like there's so many little things that it comes so naturally, so easy. But then it equips you and gives you the confidence to then literally walk into whatever you want to do.
Of course, I mean, it's a great stepping stone. It's also like it's the best side hustle in the world. Like it's really hard to make it a full-time job because it's not sustainable enough. But like as a side hustle, it's probably. And if you want to get into business, you know, the best thing to do is to start reselling to then understand how you can then progress things.
And that's what I literally this morning I was watching some like random guy came on my TikTok feed. He was on TikTok live and was just talking about how he's just ordered an R8. And then someone said to him like, how have you done this? And he went, well, I started with reselling, like side hustles is what I've done. Like, and it's just like, I think so many people get really successful once they've done that stepping stone.
It's true.
Yeah.
Really true. And it is just a mindset thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you realise that your 9 till 5 isn't everything. And you realise that you can make money elsewhere.
Yeah. And you can outdo that hourly, that you can easily outdo that 9 to 5 with that little side hustle.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even if you love your 9 till 5, you should still be doing that the night time.
It's just trying to get people into that fucking mindset, isn't it? Like, because so many people, it's just the routine of like Netflix and stuff like that. And like, I think like a lot of people, probably because let's say the people that don't like the 9 to 5, then like they can either that can motivate them to do something, or it can put them into a space where they're like, well, I cherish my free time, so I'm just going to do nothing, and I'm just going to relax, switch off. And don't get me wrong, like, I was gonna say, don't get me wrong.
I wish I could.
There's benefits to that, because I was gonna say when you are doing stuff, like you never switch off, because it's like a product, like a restock could happen at any time, and you're still gonna try and make money on it. Like there's all the times like when like, I'd be sat in bed at like 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, something would happen, and you're just on it straight away.
Yeah, of course you are.
It is. It's hard to switch off, but that's when I feel like you get hooked to money, because like you start to realize how much you can make in so little time, and it's just like then it's like, fuck, I'm going to do everything I can now. I'm going to keep going with it. And it's like, I reckon that's why it's a stepping stone. But so carry on how you got to.
Yeah, so I was reselling, and then furlough was sort of coming to an end, you know, because I was on furlough at the time as well.
Yeah.
And that come to an end, and my boss was like, can you come back to work?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I can if you really want.
Reluctantly.
I come back, but I was so unproductive. I wasn't doing anything. You know, I was sort of working to my quota, and I was just sort of wasn't really. And I think my boss asked me to do like a 9-month journey plan or something, like where are you going to be? And I was like, this is like
not here.
This is a bit ridiculous. So I think I just went through like all my top customers and just like started putting them into a spreadsheet. Like there you go, that's what I'm going to do. And then he questioned it like, oh, how are you going to get from Oxford to Birmingham in like 10 minutes? I'm like, mate, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I think, and then like I had an argument, or like someone like asked me when I was on holiday. I booked a holiday because I think the PlayStations were getting released. I think it was around the similar sort of time.
Yeah.
The PlayStations were getting released, and like I booked a day off holiday, and I come back to work, and then like one of the national account managers said to me, oh, how come you didn't follow that up? You just left it for me today. I was like, oh, when I was on holiday, I was doing this. And I just got really aggy, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I think that day I handed my notice in, I was like, I can't do this. And then I sort of sat in this bubble for a bit then, like, oh, what do I really do? I thought, do I start a catering equipment business? And at this time, like, crypto was going a bit mad as well. So I had someone in crypto, and I thought, okay, well, that's just obviously going to go to the moon. Like nothing's ever going to crash.
I'm made.
So like, I'm made. Like there's no point doing this. And then I was like, I really want to build a brand. So I'd made some money from reselling, which could sort of tie me over the first sort of 6 months, because that's always the hardest part in business. You know, what people say in business is like the first sort of 6 months to a year, you're not going to make any money. And it's fairly true. You know, the first 6 months for us, we're running around shouting about that we're the UK's favourite catering equipment company. You know, you should buy from us. You know, we really care about your business. You know, we supply everything from like spoons to ovens. Just shouting all this random stuff. Telling everyone I got a passion for ladles. Like, and like, so I was, so then I launched the business in the June. It's about June time. And like the first 6 months was really, really hard. And it sort of, you know, I had that money from reselling. I was still sort of reselling odds and sods, which was sort of keeping me going. And then sort of December happened, and it was that pinch point. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but like, it was like, I was my activity was doing this, but like the money wasn't doing this as well at the same time. And like, it got to that point where I was like, is this the right thing? Like, and I think if I didn't have that sort of money that I made from reselling, you know, I probably would have just sort of jumped back into a role. And I just thought, okay, well, I really need to try and do something now. Like, so it's really got to happen. Yeah.
And so bleep this out now with the name I'm about to say. So I went out for dinner with Will from CCN.
Yeah.
And this was when Aftermarket was like, it was like in December. And we got like, I think at that point we were at like a couple of K monthly recurring revenue, and I just wasn't sure what was going to happen. Like I was putting all this time into it, and it was like, because I was still doing my 9 to 5, still studying to be a chartered accountant. Like I was like, fuck, like, do I carry on? And he was like, bro, you are on like the point, it's going to explode. This was in December, January, like through the roof, and it was just like, fuck, like, and like, and so that was like that moment for me where it was like, just kept pushing.
So hard.
And then, that's it. Like when, like it's literally just perseverance. And once you've done that, it will happen, and you won't expect it to happen. As long as you're prepared for it to happen, though, then you're going to be laughing.
Yeah. Oh mate, it's crazy. I mean, I think it got to the point where like my friend asked me if I wanted to go to the villa, and I was like, I can't really afford to pay for it. And like, and I never had that. And I thought, I think that got to me then, and I was like, okay, something's got to happen now.
Yeah.
It was at the same time. So I had a couple of business partners at the time. One of my business partners, he was at the same sort of pinch point, and he went back into a role. He's now really successful with what he does. Yeah. So then I sort of, was in the business on my own. And, and then from sort of January, we just started to make some money. I was taking minimal out of the business.
Do you have any issues with your old firm where you worked at? Like, did they spit the dummy about you starting it? Because like, did you take any relationships?
No, I mean, so they're one of the biggest. I mean, they turn over about 120 million quid a year. They've only got like 10% of the market. Like the biggest catering equipment company, they turn over £1 million a day with 30% of the market. So it's massive, really. The whole industry, it's crazy. So they've got like this reselling arm, so like this wholesale account, and they said that they wouldn't let me open up like a wholesale account with them. Because they were like, you're going to take our customers. And I was like, well, obviously, but you're still going to sell your products to the people that I'm selling to. So like, open your eyes a bit. But they were like, no. But then it also got to the point where they were talking to the people that I wanted to buy from, the manufacturers, basically saying like, don't open an account with him. Like, it'll burn this relationship that you've got. We spend about 100 million quid a year with you.
Why are they being so petty with it? Well, that's which shows how cutthroat business can be, doesn't it? Like people like you're the small guy trying to make it, and they'll just crush you.
Yeah, they try. I think, so it was a constant uphill battle from that. But then I think it just gets to the point where like, they're like, okay, well, dust has now been set. I mean, we're still opening trade accounts now with like some of the people that we've really wanted to open accounts with. But, just because of that sort of hostility between,
big brands
getting
bullied about by
them. And but everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
And like it made you appreciate, when you've actually got these direct accounts. But we're now sort of doing, spending loads of money with them, and it's really good partnership that we've got with each manufacturer.
So how long has it been running in total now then?
So about 20 months.
20 months.
About 20 months now. Yeah. So it's going really well. But we're still growing. I mean, we've got this. I mean, my ideal goal is to do £1 million a month. When I've just spoke about what the big boys are doing. And everyone moans about how crap they are. They're still an amazing business, because they're doing £1 million a day. Like, it's balmy. So yeah, I mean, our goal is to do £1 million a month, and I think that's like so doable. You've just got to get them with the right people. People have got to really understand that we are, really good at what we do. We don't just do sort of day-to-day utensils. We can do sort of full kitchen fit outs. So we've just done, Nathan Dorr.
Yes.
So he's just opened up a new restaurant. So he come to us and just said, look, here's a blank canvas. So we did his kitchen. We did all of his tableware, barware. So, we worked kind of with his sort of designers and him directly. We went to a few showrooms to look at like different crockery styles that he wanted to go for. And then, it's quite exciting when you go from like a space into like, an actual functioning venue.
I was something that interests me, and I think this will probably be some good value to people listening. How were you actually acquiring customers? Like, is it cold outreach? Are they how like your day, like how are you getting them?
Yeah, so I mean, the first sort of 6 months, even now, so the first 6 months, I was out every single day knocking on doors. I was going to restaurants, hotels, bars, colleges. Reached out to a prison a couple of times as well, because obviously they're like a fully occupied hotel.
Yeah.
So I was it's just constant churn. You can't stop. It's like you got to be relentless. And it's just saying like everything that you're buying. I think we'll go around saying like we'll beat any quote that you put in front of us. And that's okay up to a certain point. But then like the difference is like we actually care about the business. So like we were like making hardly any money because we were like trying to beat all the online people that like sell things at like a penny because they haven't updated the prices. But then but at least we had another customer which you could then retarget and then say, okay, well, you bought from us before. But it just was knocking on doors, trying to speak to as many people as possible and just, building the network. I mean, we use LinkedIn a lot. We connect with loads of people on LinkedIn. And that's a big avenue for us, LinkedIn.
I've always known about LinkedIn because like with my old job and stuff, it was pretty essential to have. And I had someone like sort of run my LinkedIn for a while and sort of try and like boost my personal brand. They probably destroyed it. Like it was the cringiest shit that they was putting out ever. But like for me, that's something that we've never really tapped into. But I know LinkedIn's like a huge market.
Massive.
But I guess for us, it's harder to target someone to do side hustles on LinkedIn, and it's more professional people. But
I don't know, to be fair, because they're all people that work in a 9 to 5, 90%.
Yeah.
Like start a side hustle.
Bleep all this out.
Yeah.
No one's taking my customers.
So
it's
true though. That'd be so good.
Have to give it a go, give it a whirl. So on that, are you getting like? Do you have like a monthly recurring revenue? Like, do you get like repeat custom on like contracted, or is it literally one-off purchase and then you retarget them?
Yeah, it's one-off purchases, but like there's a life cycle to an oven,
right?
And people drop plates.
Yep.
And as long as you're their sort of go-to supplier, then you are going to get that recurring income.
Yep.
And like as soon as you start dealing with like government sector, colleges, schools, they've got a budget that they need to spend, or else it goes away.
How do you do that?
Well, you speak to them, you just say,
how?
Look.
Who do you speak to? Like, what do you do? Like, so for that sort of thing, how are you actually approaching something like that? Because even
so you can phone them, just say, look, I want to speak to the restaurant. I mean, gatekeeping is like a massive thing in this industry as well. So when I'd go into a hotel, I wouldn't just stop at reception. They've been trained to be a gatekeeper. You'd walk through to the restaurant and then speak to someone there. Who's a catering manager, or who's the person that does the ordering for catering equipment? It'd be John West. Okay, well, is John West in? No, he's back in on Tuesday. Okay, so then go back in there on Tuesday, or call on Tuesday and just be like, John, we're a fairly new company, but we're the UK's favourite catering equipment company. We sell everything from spoons to ovens. We've been in your restaurant. We understand that you buy an Elia forks and spoons.
Yeah.
Who are you currently buying from? We buy from X. Okay, why'd you buy from X? They're just easy. We just buy from them just because it's easy. Okay, well, what do we need to do, to try and switch that around? And I've just done a deal with a college in Oxford, and I was like, how do I get onto your buying portal? He's like, well, we got to buy something, but we're so used to buying from this other company. And I was like, okay, well, first order's free, 100 quid. First order's free, and that was like an easy way for me to get onto their buying portal. So you've just got to try and make it as easy as possible for people to actually buy from you.
And do you know what? I think that's interesting as well, because it's I think a lot of people and a lot of businesses, like at that level, like they won't, when they've got that ease of just repeat ordering, they don't have to think about it. It's seamless. So, and it's stress free, but it sort of means it's harder for you to acquire them because they're going to have to go through a bit of pain to actually transition over. But then they're probably going to be just as much of a sticky customer with you, like in terms of, they'll never second guess it. They'll probably never actually do many price comparisons. They'll probably just be like, that's it. That's what it is.
It's easy. But we're still really competitive on the market. Like it never gets to the point where like then start ripping people off, because it's all about that sort of trust in that relationship. Because if they ever think, okay, let's have a look how much we're paying for this spoon, and you're like completely ripping us off, you've then just burnt a relationship. So as long as you're fair and like as long as you're giving great service but a great price as well, then it's a customer for life.
talk to me about building the brand, because it's got great branding, and like I think a lot of people again struggle with that. And sort of
part.
because it's just like it is a daunting task, that, isn't it, in terms of actually, because people can have the idea, but bringing it to life and having that brand around and that image, that's something that you guys have absolutely smashed.
Thank you.
So how did you go about it, and what are you doing right now in terms of advertising and building that brand up?
Yeah, so we're, I mean, we run around and we're literally shouting that we're the UK's favourite catering equipment company. You know,
is that verified favourite?
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, buy from us and find out is what I say to everyone. Like we're the bee's knees. Yeah, we are really good. But yeah, I mean, we've the name Lordwell come from my name's Lord Maxwell. I met royalty and they fell in love with me, so they gave me a Lord title. And my name's Maxwell. And I thought I was driving down the road and I thought I need a business name.
Yeah.
And I thought Lordwell. Bang, I got it. Like that moment I was like, yeah, that's actually sick. So it works, like, and it sounds loads better than all of our competitors as well. So, you know, obviously
it does actually sound like a prestigious company. Like I'm not saying it's not, I mean, but it adds value. The name has added value to it.
Yeah, but yeah, there's still like someone called like cateringequipment.com. I think that's actually a site. And I think that they obviously churn as well. But like being creative and creating a brand, like people really just oversee that sometimes as well. You know, but it's as important, especially like, you know, and you look at an exit in like 10 years, 10, 15 years, people buy into the brand as well.
Is that what you plan to do?
I think so, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, but I love what I do. You know, I think it's different. You don't meet many people.
No.
I think, you know, all of the people in our industry as well, it's quite an old industry. You know, there's not many, there's probably probably three to five businesses of like people. I think I'm probably the youngest business owner in the catering equipment industry, I'd say. Don't know.
Going to be the top dog.
Maybe. We'll see, but I've got age on my side.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see.
Yeah. That's it. I was speaking to some guys recently, and they were telling me about, just on that exit note, they were telling me like to start actually building towards the idea that you are exiting this business, because once you've built the product and it's at a point where it is actually saleable, you'll think, I don't actually want to sell it, because now it's perfect. Because to make it attractive to investors, it has to be just fucking watertight, and everything has to run on its own. You have to have systems in place, stuff like that. And if you can get it to that point, you know that, like, well, why would I actually want to sell it now? I can step away and it will still run. Yeah. And that's of course, one of the best.
And I think I've got like a personal attachment because the name of the business.
Yeah.
I'd be upset if someone brought the business and then just changed the name.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but I haven't thought about it too much. You know, I know that we've got a goal of £1 million a month. You know, that's you know where I want to get to, and then it'll probably be like 10 million quid a month. We'll see. But
are you happy talking about where you've got to now? Or? Yeah. So what?
Yeah, fine.
Let's talk about the journey in terms of financials.
Yeah. So journey. So I mean, we're sort of nearly £1 million turnover.
Yeah.
And from sort of January last year, we're doing sort of 20, 30, 40, 50,000 turnover. Then it just sort of built up. November, we had our sort of best month. We did sort of our first 6-figure month, which was nice.
Congrats,
yeah, thanks. So that was amazing, really. Yeah. But it's a bit anticlimactic as well, because then it's like, okay, December happens, then no one buys anything in December because they've just bought everything.
December was a shit month for us though as well, because I think everyone goes into that sort of conservative mindset, because it's like Christmas is coming up, like everyone seems to switch off. And just forgets everything in December. It's like, don't want to spend any money, want to save for Christmas, but then everyone's busy seeing family, stuff like that. Like everyone is on holidays. Like it's like it's like for everyone that I've spoke to that's sort of in, let's say, that's everyone that I've known from reselling that now has different businesses, they've all said December is notoriously shit. Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it? I mean, I was really ill in December as well. I had that cold that everyone had. And I couldn't breathe. It was horrible.
I was I had that for like, I think it was probably like 3 or 4 weeks, of not being able to, I had 2 weeks of headaches, didn't want to work, didn't want to do anything. Yeah, it was fucked.
Yeah.
Like COVID,
mate, that was worse than COVID. That was. I remember I was lying there and I couldn't swallow just because it felt like razor blades. And I was like, this is horrible. This is. And that was the worst time of my life. That if that's ever a question in this podcast, that was the worst time of my life.
But it would have been fortunate if it would have been like lockdown, 6.0 and
mate, yeah.
we would have had.
Yeah,
we could have been selling gym equipment again. Did you get on the weights and that?
Yeah, got on the weights.
Yeah.
I was always going into going into like Argos constantly.
Yeah.
Just walking in there, and I was like buying like Opti weights and like those benches and stuff. They're like, what do you need all this equipment for? Like, you know, if I see you again, like you're not buying anymore. And I was like, oh, I'm just doing a home gym.
Yeah.
Like,
It's massive.
And like, I was just walking out with like these like two big trolleys full.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
It was great with Argos as well because you could order it and then they would hold it for you for like so many days, wouldn't they? So then you could like, did you have to pay up front or did you jump in collection? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So like, oh, that was it. So yeah, they'd hold it. It was reserved to you, but you only had to go and pick it up once you'd sold it already. So then you just go pick it up, and then if you didn't sell it, then you just get your money back straight away. Like it was just like a nice little jig.
Yeah, oh, I loved it. Hair clippers were amazing as well.
Yeah. There's so much bonkers stuff was reselling.
I had I bought these Philips hair clippers and people didn't really want, but they were a bit more expensive than these. Do you remember the WOW ones? That like 10 quid?
Yeah.
And like I remember I brought all of these Philips hair clippers, and I was like, I got two options. I was like A/B testing them. I was like, everyone really wants these WOW ones, but these ones are a bit more expensive. No, these ones, I think they're about 20 quid to buy, whereas the WOW ones were like buying for 10, selling for like 60 quid.
Yeah.
Whereas these ones, I was buying them for 20, selling them for 40. And I was like, which ones do you want? Like, do you want these WOW ones or do you want these ones? And everyone's always like, yeah, we want the WOW ones. Everyone's like talking about these WOW ones.
Yeah. Because everyone just sees that brand, don't they? You think it's like professional dubbers.
Oh, and they were like so cheap.
What else was there that we did?
Hair clippers, chimeneas, lazy spars,
The barbecues. Outdoor heaters.
The heaters. They were so the Aldi good ones. Yeah. The stone fire pits.
Oh, Aldi. What was it? The electric heaters as well.
Oh, the pedestal ones. Yeah. Cash.
It was an insane era, that one.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
That was like comparable to like the Yeezy era of trainers. Like it was just like there was just money coming out of everyone's ears. Yeah. Like everything was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see it again soon.
Hopefully so. Yeah.
PS6.
Yeah. Less deaths this time, hopefully.
Sorry?
Less deaths. Less people dying.
Yeah.
We need another pandemic without all the people dying as well.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Without actually like being locked in and told you can't see your family this Christmas as well.
But we're commuting because we're working.
To
and from Argos. Yeah.
Key worker.
Yeah.
So, in terms of, so you did that sort of, this is something as well that on that, so when you said you did that first 100K month.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know, how did you actually feel once you'd hit that sort of number? Because, so for me, when I hit like some goals, and there's a huge goal that's coming up for us that I'm not going to say on here, but it will probably happen today or tomorrow. But I already know in my head because it's happened before where I've done it and it's just like, back to work.
Yeah.
Like, set the next one.
Yeah.
And like, that's it because you build it up in your head. And like, I remember like, there's so many times I was like, once I get to this a month, like, I'm going to be so happy. Like, and then you do it and it's just like,
nothing changes.
Yeah.
No firework goes off.
Yeah, exactly. You got your own party popper.
Yeah. I think you had a bit of like a bit of self-reflection. I think I probably had like 5 minutes of like a bit of like tears coming out my ears, like am my ears, am my eyes, like a tiny bit of like, you know, this is like it's actually turned into a business now. It's actually quite like everything that you've wanted and you know really worked for. You know, but I'm still nowhere near my goal. So it's like it's quite nice to know that you know it's churning a bit of cash now. But you know we're nowhere near our goal. You know we still need to grow. We still need to you know have that sort of consecutive 6-figure months because that's the next thing, isn't it? You can't just.
How do you get back to that point? Like why was it November and why is it not happening now?
Because it was people buying for Christmas. The next one's like Easter. And then there's summer churns. You know, so it's just about more people buying from you, more people knowing about you. And it's also about, you know, buying from me as well, because people buy from people. You know, when I had my customers, when I was working for the catering company that I used to work for, I mean, I would give them a shout out, but, you know, we don't get on. So, I mean, people buy from people, you know, so I think it wasn't really a change for the people that I was selling to, you know, because obviously I went into the people that, you know, I was already selling to. And I just sort of said, look, you know, just change the invoice address and just change the bank details. You can have the same service, probably better because, you know, we are the UK's favourite.
How many times have you plugged that?
I don't know. Lordwell.co.uk.
Yeah. Go on, what did you say? Sorry.
Yeah, so I don't know what I said, apart from, you know, the UK's favourite. What was I saying?
So you're on about changing the supplier invoice.
So just, you know, nothing was really changing for my customers, apart from they were just buying from me. Well, they'll still buying from me, but they were just buying from a different business.
And that's what I was going to say. That I think that's been massive for me, because I never used to want to get on camera, would never record a story. Yeah. And then once I started doing that, like, and started taking calls every day, like having the booking on the website, like, people, like, it just builds that trust factor, because then, like, it is like people are buying it. That, like, it's like they've already got a relationship with you before you know that exists. So, like, because they already know you, like, this is like as if they know you, and it's that's like massive. In terms of actually just being personable,
personal brand.
And just
so important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think I heard it on there's a guy called Colin. He does property down in London, and he said in one of his podcasts. And he said, like, when you walk out of a room, what do they say about you? Yeah. That's what your personal brand is. Yeah. And that's like, it's when you start thinking about that, it's quite interesting.
Yeah. It is actually interesting. I've never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Plans to scale the business. Yeah. How are you going? You've already said, like, you've got these goals.
Yeah.
What's the roadmap to get there?
Yes. So we got to start thinking about strategy. So I've just brought in, well, back in June, Carl come into the business, and he's been like a big help. To be fair, because I can, you know, run around shouting about Lordwell, you know, all day, but it's the strategy behind the business. Yep. So I mean, Carl's run businesses before. He understands the processes. He understands, you know, what we need to do to sort of get to that level. Yep. You know, so the value that he's added into the business has been, you know, quite easy. I mean, it's quite hard to get to that point on your own. I mean, it's like borderline, I'd say impossible, but there are unicorn businesses. Yeah. But like, it's just about having little things like employing the right people, having the right people in different sort of sectors and different teams. Because as soon as, you know, a £12 million business is a lot different from, you know, £1 million business. You got to start thinking about, you know, sales teams, external sales teams with, you know, their own customers that they're going to bring into the table. You got to start thinking about, you know, purchasing power as well. So talking about your suppliers. Okay, well, we're gonna probably bring you in, you know, £2 million worth of business this year. You know, let's look at, you know, what we're actually buying for. So increasing profit that way. It's about sort of marketing as well. Probably a bit of B2B. So whether we can, you know, be a wholesaler for other people in the industry, because so, you know, which the suppliers that have which are harder to get on board with, whether we do like you know, a big buying sort of consortium through them as well. But it's just about sort of, you know, instead of just your own customers, it's about then sort of expanding your sales team, expanding sort of purchasing finance as well, you know, bringing the right sort of finance team on board. Because like we offer people 30-day terms, you know, whereas, you know, we've had it in the past where, you know, people take like, you know, 40, 50 days, you know, and it's like, that's tough at that point. Yeah, it is, because that's when like cash flow becomes, and actually and this is the thing, like, but I bet when you started, like you never anticipated any of this, did you, in terms of getting to this? And that's one of the things, like, it just happened. And like we said it, I've said it on here before, like everyone is so hesitant to start a business because they don't know what they're doing. But I bet you like 90% of business owners, like, yes, you'll know like the topic area, you'll know what you're doing, but you don't know all the little intricacies, but you learn as you go. Of course you do. And that's the best part of it. Yeah,
it's that
I knew hardly anything, you know, about business. I just knew how to sell things, you know, but you just learn as you go. You know, you find a problem and then it's just solutions focused. You know, you've just got to be solutions focused. You've got to be adaptable, and you got to think about the right kind of things, you know, just to improve doing things. But it's just about being adaptable and sort of learning as many things as possible.
It is, and it's just being open to it as well, and like open to bringing someone on board. Like we've had a few meetings recently where like I've sort of like got like a bit of a mentor now, and sort of always like knowing, like I'm like not naive to the fact that I'm a young lad. I'm still inexperienced in business, so I'm going to soak up like any information like a sponge from anyone that is the figurehead and is successful, because and that's what I find really good as well, is that a lot of people have been there and done it. They're always willing to help.
Oh, of course,
like, and that's the thing. It's like you can get the people in the fucking Instagram comments and TikTok and stuff like that that are just, they must have something going on in their own life and they're a bit miserable, but they're those guys will just never like, they would never want to help you. But the guys that are actually really successful, they are willing to help anyone, and they never like. A lot of people like with like reselling, they look at like you go on our comments like on TikTok or whatever, and we're just getting shit all the time. But anyone who's like really successful, like that I spoke to, like, fucking hell, that's such a good idea. Like, that's so good. And it's just a different mindset of people. Like, and it's like, it's about just being like, I think people in business respect anyone who's trying to make it in business. And that's it, like where we were talking about it before we started, where like people like were saying to me, like in our comments, like making complaints and stuff. And it's just like, you as a person, like you're not going to like, you're not trying to do anything, you're just complaining. And it's like that comment on like pay, oh, that £700 profit you've just made. Well, go and how about you go donate it? And I was like, all right, well, you donate first, then I will. Like you, like why are you trying to cripple me? Like why? And it's just like this mad mindset that people have like fallen into of like shitting on people that are trying to do anything, but then anyone who has done something already, they love it.
It's a struggle, and I think 100%. I mean, you get it with it. You get it with anything. You know, I think people. I mean, when I was when I first started this business, and it got to that sort of pinch point where I was like, I don't really know what to do. I think I was in a group before, and they're like, I think I said in the group like, oh, I might go get like a delivery job at Tesco or something, and I was like, at the time I was like, well, I've got to pay for my mortgage somehow. Like Lordwell isn't doing anything, and like. The amount of shit I got in that group just because people are just like, like go push some trolleys, and like it pissed me. It got to me, and like he's probably gonna, the geezer's probably going to watch this because he's like my world's biggest hater, I think. But like, but you get them everywhere. But you know, you just got to laugh at it and just sort of it is what it is. But you just got to keep focused, and then like if you're working towards a goal, you're going to get there. Like it doesn't matter how you get there, but as long as you each day you're taking one step forward. 3 days later you might take 3 back, but as long as you're moving forward, you'll be successful.
And that's it. And that's it. I think everyone always tries to really rush it, and that's probably what I did at first as well. Because like Aftermarket's first day, like I'd put this glamorous like marketing campaign together. I was like, we're gonna pop like everything launch day, 1 sign up, and I was like, fuck. But
he was lonely in Discord.
Literally.
Has he got lifetime now?
We had a load. We had a load of because we've been in like beta, so I had people in there for free. But I'd said like because you've contributed, I'll just keep you in free. So there was a few people in, luckily. But like, and I just had like a meltdown. It was my brother's birthday actually. And it was his birthday meal, and I sat there with my family, and my face was just like. And mum was like cheer up, like it's gonna be fine. And that's it, like, and it said like getting to that point where I was like working hard for those few months, got to December and like, what do I do? Is it going to do it? And then pop off, and then you'll look back and think, why did I ever doubt myself? That's the best bit.
Just consistency. Just got to be consistent.
So many people like this is, I don't know what it is, but like I think people like us, like if we have like a shit week or a shit month, like it is what it is. We're on to the next one. It's always forward looking. But other people, like a lot of people, like even like with like Amazon selling or reselling, anything like that, because like it can be so, well, Amazon is more consistent obviously, but with resale now it can be quite choppy up and down. If they have like one bad week, they'll forget that they made $6,000 in the past month. And then it's like, no, done now. Like, and it's just like, how? Like, what is this mindset? Like, how? Like, it's, I don't get it. It doesn't.
You just got to be consistent. I think the thing is with Amazon as well, because I did dabble in a bit of Amazon. And it's like, I think I just went in like really deep with like this one product that I thought, okay, this is like, obviously like this product's selling really, really well. But then as soon as like everyone else jumps on the listing, like, your profit just goes down. So I think the main thing with Amazon, what my friend's really successful on it, and one thing he says is like, you've just got to go in like shallow but wide. So like only have like a few units of each different product, but just have like a huge variety of products. And like that's the best way to.
You're super diversified then, aren't you? You minimize your risk in terms of like that competition, like you said, massively. And again, it's just, but that's again something that'll come with experience, because you wouldn't fuck up again now.
No.
What was it you were selling?
Oh, it was chewing ears and lazy spars.
Oh, was it on Amazon?
On Amazon, yeah. That was hilarious. That was.
Yeah. Did you get I know loads of people that tried selling like the lazy spars for Amazon, but then ended up just getting like, like fucked on the returns and that. Like
never. I didn't get one return.
Yeah.
Nah. Luckily though, because that's heavy. That
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, because Amazon always side with the buyer.
Exactly.
But that would have been grim.
Yeah,
That'd have been horrible.
painful. Did you have any? What was like? So let's go back to the reselling side of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What was sort of in terms of, you don't have to mention the money, but sort of the best months? Like how many units do you reckon you got through? Like
A weekend, it was probably like, I think. Well, weekends, weekend sales that you then need to ship out. It's probably like 10 lazy spars and probably like 30 chimeneas.
And it's so funny in it because like it's like for us in that situation, like no one in the UK could get their hands on these, and we were just like another.
Yeah, my God, I'll send you a clip that you can put on the poddy after. But it's just literally like my whole garden, which is just full of like boxes of lazy spars. Yeah. And then like walking down the drive, and it's just like chimeneas, like tripod 5-bits. Do you remember them from?
Yeah.
Oh mate.
Like I remember, so when we did I was asking for this really. So when we did the interview with the BBC, I literally booked the penthouse at the Edwardian Hotel.
Yeah.
And I just filled it with PS5s, Xboxes, like for the background.
Yeah.
And I knew that like the amount of fucking hate that got, but it was just so easy for us to get our hands on them.
Yeah.
And but that's the thing again, like it's just like it again comes down to that mindset of people like just complain because they couldn't get it off a shelf.
Yeah.
But we thought, right, I can't get it off a shelf. Well, everyone can't. Well, how do we get it? There is a way.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way.
Yeah. I mean, I was also buying from like resellers.
Yeah.
So I was buying from like people that needed to get like a quick buck. So like buying from people for like 400 quid, selling them for like 500 quid. Because I had like a few people that are like doing competitions and stuff.
Yeah.
They're buying from me because it's trusted. People don't really trust Facebook selling page unless you got like 20 reviews and 5 stars. I think so. I was always quite fortunate on Facebook just because of the reviews that I had.
Yeah.
But I was literally buying from people, going there, picking it up, then reselling it on. Like,
and that's what like a lot of people like don't even think about that angle of it. I used to do it all the time with trainers. Just like you do it if you do it in volume. We've got another guy coming on the pod, so this is a good one. Massive in trainers and luxury goods, and he said like he's now like basically like he pays over for everything, but he's like with Travis Scott's like he had hundreds, but he exports it, makes a small margin, but because he's doing it on so many, like he doesn't like it's like the other side of the business, isn't it? Like people don't even think that you can do that. But like I used to do it with like I'd pick up like a load of Yeezys off everyone in my local area. I remember I used to come into Manchester all the time and just I'd do like a day and I'd just arrange meets at like different points in the day, just collect as many as I could, and then because I had a really good buyer in Liverpool, so he exported them to China. So I'd buy them and then I'd just add like £10 on, or if I had 10 to £20 margin on every pair that I'd bought off a reseller. And then it was like, well, I've just made another grand from driving from Manchester to Liverpool. Just because like, and that's, you've got to just, once you start, like, and you get that money motivated, you're like, right, what's next? How can I do it? And it's
I was never in that Yeezy era. Yeah. I was always the kid that really wanted Yeezys, but it's about sort of, that's why your business is so good, because it teaches people how to, get hold of the next Yeezys.
The Yeezy era was an absolute godsend. It was so fucked. Like, I remember like being like 16, 17 years old, like working away, and then like, just like, the ability to make like anywhere from like 500 quid to £1,000 on a pair of trainers was just fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
They are a sick trainer though.
Yeah, they are sick. They were fucking like I remember my first pair like that I got. I was torn whether to actually sell them or not, and I was like, oh, but it's 400 quid profit. Like, and then but then from there, that's when I took that 400 quid, and then on the next release I could get 3 pairs.
Yeah.
And then it's like then. And you just keep going.
How much did you make in the Yeezy era?
I remember within like a couple of months, like I'd started with nothing in my bank.
Yeah.
My mum had to transfer me money to buy my first pair of Yeezys.
Love that.
And then a couple of months later, there was 20k sat in the bank. Like, and I was just like, fuck, like, I remember going to like, I remember when I was at uni, like, and everyone around me was like crippled. And I was like, just do this. And so it was the semi-frozen yellow Yeezys.
Yeah.
They would drop in via Adidas Confirm. So that was an app where it would tell you it basically say, click this image, right? So it would say, click the image on the screen that is showing a man walking a dog, right?
Yeah.
So we basically got let's say a source that would tell us what the image was going to be first. So what I did was at uni in my accommodation, I got because you had to be in London as well for the drop.
Yeah.
So I like spoofed everyone in my uni accommodation's location to London. So like the app would let the entry go in.
Wow.
And then we knew what the image was going to be. And then all they had to, so I said, right, this is the image. As soon as it comes on, like, just don't think, just press it. And then, so they did. There was like, on that drop, I think it was like 600 pairs maybe, like, allocation. And like, I got 8, like, just from in my uni accommodation. And like, I give them like 200 quid each, like, just for sorting that out. And they were like, what the fuck? That was so easy. I was like, yeah, but you could be fucking doing it as well. But it's just like, they've just not got it. Well, not got it as in like, I'm not bothered. I'll take the 200, but.
Bath.
Yeah, but it's worth it, isn't it? Like,
that's so mad.
Yeah, the Yeezy Era was fucking. It was.
Yeah,
it was some of the best time of my life. That, like,
yeah.
as we was on about before, like, I literally remember like camping out in Manchester, like for shoes and stuff, like, and it was a massive community aspect to it as well. Like like on Facebook, the sneaker community pages were huge, and it was just like it was this. I think there's so many people that I know that were in that are all now super successful. And it's just because they're all applied themselves and done something that was a little bit out there. And it's,
mad. I rate it.
Like, the whole purpose of the podcast is to push people to do what you've done. Actually do that. Why do you, what do you think is the
probably the fear of failure? Yeah, or the fear of not thinking that you can do it. 100%. That'll definitely be it. And it's also the mindset of your parents. You know, because like every single generation, apart from our generation, has always been go get a job, work your way up, and then retire at 65, and then enjoy your life. You know, why do you need to do that? Why don't you just start a brand? But it's that whole mindset of like it's scary. And it is scary, but like the hardest part about starting a business is actually starting. 100%. Like that's the.
I had the idea for Aftermarket for months, and it took me like I had it set in my head, but what I was going to do, but it literally just took me months to actually pull the trigger. Like, and I wish I would have fucking started earlier. Like everyone that like I know that's doing well in business was like, I wish I would have started earlier. So it's like every day you're delaying it just for that. Just like however you're justifying it in your head, you're only damaging your future success. And like, I bet you if I came to you with a business idea and said like, but it was pretty unrelated to what we do now, but I bet you said, I'll have a crack at it. Like, that's the thing. It's like, once you've done it a few times, like you're willing to have a crack at anything, and you get over that fear once, and then it's fine.
Yeah, the amount of people that just say like, oh, I really want to do that, or, you know, just do it. That all you need to do is just literally just take the first step forward and just do it. Because like, you know, people say they need, it's money. You don't need it. Like, okay, you might need it, but like there's other ways around it. Like Lordwell, I didn't have any money to start Lordwell really. I only had the money that I had from reselling, but that was just to live off really and pay the mortgage. But then actually building the website, that there was a shareholder in the business, which now isn't part of the business, which did the branding, built the website. We've now changed the website, but
at the start,
at the start, which, you know, there wasn't actually many overheads to the business to start with. You know, I was working out my back room. You know, there was, you know, it's a different business now, but like that's the hardest part is, you know, that sort of mindset of, you know, but I need money to start. And like, there's always this guy which walks around, I can't remember his name, but he says, oh, I want to invest in you and your business. Here's £100. Oh, but I need like 70 million to start a clothing brand or like whatever. No, you don't need all that money. But and then like I think Andrew Tate said, but like about his friend's makeup line. Where he was talking about, I need all this money. He's like, nah, sell out first, and then just say there's a slight delay. There's different jigs that you can do to work your way around it. But money's not a massive issue when starting a business. It's just about being around the right people, having the right circles, people that can add value in areas that you can't, creating the best team, because you can't do everything on your own. It's impossible. So it's about creating the right team and the right people with the right mindset around you.
If you try and do it on your own, again, it's just one of those things that it'll be a damaging factor to your future success.
Yeah, it's lonely as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, because I had two business partners when I started, when they left, then I had that sort of interim period around 6-7 months, and it's lonely. It does get really lonely. So
it's
having the right team around you, and then hiring people now, it's quite nice because because you can then at least delegate the stuff that you don't want to do. But at least it's a lot easier as you scale. But it is that sort of first sort of 6 months. It is hard, but
what's harder, that 6 months or spending the rest of your life in 9 to 5?
About to say that.
Yeah, there you go. And that's what people need to think about, because it's like taking the I don't want to take the risk to start a business, but you're willing to take the risk that you're going to live the rest of your life. Like that is the biggest risk of all.
I mean, all you need to do is build a side hustle, build some money that you can live off, and then do what you really need to do. Yeah. You can still resell. It's like reselling is the best side hustle in the UK.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
For sure. And it's just people I think don't necessarily view it as a way, like, let's say you would, like, to think, right, I'm going to use that to be the bridge to my dream. Like the bridge to my goal that's going to make me do X or whatever, or I can use it just to then employ my expertise, because you don't have to be an expert in reselling to make it work. You don't have to know anything. You can join like the group. You've got all the products pushed right in front of you.
Yeah, it's already filtered to what's making money.
Exactly. People people think, I don't know anything. I'm like, and then they'll be like, I've got to go research. Like, I'm going to go spend a couple of weeks. I'll come back, and it's just delay. But
then there's also that I don't have any money to resell. I didn't really, but then what you do, you then get a credit card. 9 times out of 10, you're buying things which has got a return policy. So if it doesn't sell within the time of your credit, you just return it and then get your money back. You're literally just using the bank's money to then scale your own business. And it's a free side hustle.
Yeah, literally.
That makes you money.
Yeah. And there's stuff that as well. There's other avenues of doing it. Like we're looking at doing. So we're launching like a bit of like a freelancing course.
Yeah.
And like the skills that you learn in that, like you don't need any money to make money with like the freelancing stuff. Like if you want to like learn how to do social media marketing, something like that, or learn how to become a web designer, it's just about investing a little bit of time. And then you can make money. There's like the not having money issue is largely an excuse, because there is something you can do about that if you just are creative and like I said, you think about resale, because like you don't have to be passionate about reselling. Like you could be passionate about making money, so you use the reselling to enable you to make more money in the future. But people don't seem to join those dots.
How much do people spend learning how to do something at university?
Exactly.
But they can't spend £30 a month to learn something, or I don't know what you charge, but £30 a month or so to learn how to actually make money.
And quick. Like that's it. Like we was on about this on the last pod actually, where it's wild how like the educational system in the UK is able to get away with, let's say, you do some, I don't know, let's take my degree, for example. So finance and accounting. And then I had like the prospect of walking into a job that was going to give me 80K a year, graduate. I was like, yes, that's what I want. Now, that's what the course sells you, like, is the degree. The degree is a course. It's just put in a big shiny building. Now, but then I walked out into like a job that was paying me like 20 grand a year, but it was still like a fucking hard job. I loved the job, super interesting, but was just like the money wasn't there. But like my uni, I was expecting to be doing so much more. And the point that I'm trying to get to is that unis can get away with this, but with like people like us, but people will shit on us for selling a course that's, let's say, £1,000 for Amazon wholesale, or selling a monthly membership that's £30 a month, £40 a month, whatever it may be. Everyone hates us, but they fucking love unis that are managing to like just sweep everything under the rug, because I think uni's a business.
Because your mum tells you to go to uni.
Yeah, literally. People forget that like all like university is like, unless you're going obviously to become a doctor or a lawyer.
Those makes sense.
It makes sense. But pretty much everything else, like, I would never, ever, like, I wouldn't advise anyone to go to university for marketing, because, like, I feel like I'm pretty good at marketing now, and I'm, like, it's just learning on the job.
Yeah.
Get in there and do it.
A/B testing.
Yeah.
See how it works.
As opposed to going and the things with uni though, a lot of it's just an excuse for a big piss up, innit?
Yeah, I never went to uni.
Did you not?
No, so I mean, I left school at 16. I then did public services.
Right.
And that was horrible.
Yeah.
And then I did music, and I thought I just need to make some money now. So then I started working for my auntie. She's got like a lift part business.
Right. What happened with the music? Why didn't you try and go down that route?
Didn't want to.
Was you just doing it as a time passer?
I knew a friend that was going to uni, and I knew a friend that was going to that college, so I just thought, okay, well, I'll just makes it. Let's just do that. So I thought, okay, well, music. I enjoyed music. I mean, during my sort of teenage years, I got really involved with beatboxing.
Yeah.
Fell in love with that, and I thought, nah, past that.
Can you not?
Nah, not anymore. I probably could, but nah. And then I think I just got to the point where I was just like, I just want to make some money now.
Yeah.
So I went to go work for my auntie.
Got the money drive.
Yeah, and I think it was good. It's good to work with them as well, because they've sort of grown that business. I mean, it's ultra successful now, that business. So it's good to sort of see that, because they're in a unit that I'm in, like similar size to what I'm in now.
Yeah.
Sort of seeing where they've come in the last sort of 10 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, the warehouse that they're moving into, it's on the Gymshark estate in Solihull.
Yeah.
It's massive. Just to see where that business has gone.
Yeah.
Went from to where it is now. It's like it's inspiring.
I was going to say it'd be good for you to see that as well, because it's so close to home, and it's
100%.
It's within touching distance.
Yeah.
So when going back to what you said earlier about you started Lordwell with not much money to be able to pump into it. How did you make that work?
About building the right team around you.
So did you, in terms of, let's say, money for products though?
Oh yeah. So
what did that look like?
American Express.
Yep.
I could pay my suppliers with a card, with a card. If not, there was always a time where I can't afford to pay for this invoice to then get out because they're paying on 30 days, but just borrow money off people. People around you that trust you.
Yeah.
Just can I borrow a couple of grand? I need to start this fridge.
Yeah.
Yes. So you just there's always ways to jig things and just get money into the business.
Yeah.
There's 100%. There's at least, or there are some people around you that can lend you some money to then do things that you really need to do. And if it's churning money, then people want to support you.
Yeah.
So it was credit cards. It was. I looked at a startup loan.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't go for that in the end.
Why? What's the details of them? I've never really looked into them.
No, see, the government will give you 25 grand.
Yep.
And you pay 600 quid a month. It's about a 3% interest rate, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
But it's still that sort of loan against the business.
Yeah, I've never ever took a loan out aftermarket.
But it'd be handy. But then if the government would have just given me 25 grand, I don't know whether my mind would have just been let's just bump into AdSense or something, let's just, surely this is going to make a return. So I probably would have been a little bit more reckless with the cash that I had. Whereas I was always acting broke within the business.
Yeah.
We still do now. Really, we don't go crazy on sort of expenses and stuff.
It's the same. It's the same with us. That I went through a bit of a probably stupid phase, but I got out my system, and now for me it's it's just cash preserve, get everything back into the business, keep scaling, and I think that's probably something as well that a lot of people don't necessarily understand, is that they think let's say if your company's making, let's just say hypothetically 100 grand a month profit, and then you're oh yes, I'm rich, I'm going to pull out 100 grand a month, but when you're in that situation, there is no way on earth that you would do that, because your actual focus is it goes to, I feel like you switch a little bit more to sort of survival mode. Yes, you'll enjoy nice things and you'll experience new things and you will enjoy the money, but the business is the priority then, and it's just keeping that alive, growing it more. And once you do that 100k a month, you're well, if I instead of just spunking it out on myself, if I put this back in, next month could be 200k.
Yeah.
And it's just learning that.
Yeah. It's so easy though, isn't it? Just to, see a nice number
Yeah.
and just sort of, try and, take it out. But then like it is, you've just got to keep reinvesting and, growing the business. 'Cause that's your baby. That's your future.
Yeah.
That's your life.
Have you got any other sort of entrepreneurial endeavors on the horizon?
On the horizon, no, but I'm not yet. I think my main focus at the moment is Lordwell. I think I want to get to the point where that's sort of ticking over. Because I am like a vital part of that business at the moment. I do all the sort of sales. Whereas we've got 2 girls in the office now, which are really helping.
Yep.
But we need to get to the point where that's sort of ticking over, and I can sort of be out the office and not have to
just know that, have peace of mind that it's you're still converting sales.
But that's the focus. But I love startups, so I'd like to, get involved with some startups.
There's not, for me, there's like nothing more fun than like starting something
phase.
new. Yeah. Like it is, it's just because
it's so fun.
It is. And it's
building a brand. It's just amazing.
And that's what I think as well, like thinking on that, when you sort of, so the people that we've met since being in Manchester and stuff, and like all my friends, like we're all business owners, and like when like, our topic of conversation is literally like new business, what can we do?
Money.
And it's just like, but it's like a passive thought. It's not like we're thinking, right, we're coming here tonight, we're going to sit and we're going to discuss this. It just becomes the topic of conversation. And then you all extract value from each other without even realizing. And that's it.
I mean, we all think of like, things that can actually really work. So I think when I spoke to you about, you can bleep this out or do whatever you want with, but that sort of 3rd month free.
Yes,
That's like get people into a buying pattern. And then, on the 3rd month, you'll then get rewarded. And surely they'll see the value by then, and then they'd also get a bit of a bonus.
And that's it. Like I'd never considered buying patterns, like something that I'd never involved. And at the end of the day, like that's like, I didn't start chatting to you with the expectation to learn. Like it was like, just like, let's see where this, like,
of course.
Like, let's see where this goes. Like there'll be everyone that's around you will be able to add value in some way. And that comes back to like the money thing as well. Like, yes, you can ask your friends for money, but like it can come back to like, I bet one of them can build a website for you, or I bet one of them can show you how to sort of build some graphics for social media. Like everyone around you will be able to add value, and a lot of people will help. So before we round off, I want to know like sort of day in the life of you now, business owner, what's it looking like?
Not very sexy. I mean, at the moment, I'm probably in the office 2 days a week. And I'm sort of being reactive, being proactive as well, reaching out to people. And then I'm out 3 days a week. I'm visiting customers. That's sort of the key customers or prospects that we want to grow. I'm just foot on Lordwell constantly, just visiting people, building that relationship. And then, like just growing the team. 'Cause it's about working in the business, but then also working on the business. That's like a really important thing, because like otherwise you'd just be a busy fool. So it's about, automating things and trying to make things.
That's what like this guy who I said, like who mentors me a bit, he said like, you are working too much in the business. You need to have that oversight and work on it. And that's where he said, let's start preparing this business as if you were going to sell it. And then once you've done that, you won't sell it. But like we said earlier, everything will just tick over. And that's sort of the goal that I think a lot of people think like that. They'll get they'll like to get that journey that will take to get to that point. Like your business will probably increase like tenfold. Like everything will become so much easier and better. And you don't realize it'll just be an accumulation of small steps that will lead you to having this glamorous package of, well, me, PlayStations and air fryers, and you've got spoons and
ladles.
I
love a ladle.
Is that the way the fashion is?
Sat in a ladle, big ladle. Oh, I love that.
Have you? What sort of? I think from what you've been saying, like relationship building seems absolutely key.
100%.
In your sort of field.
A
lot of people, let's say introverts, don't like struggle. Give them some advice.
Write emails. Or just there's outsourcing call centers as well that can also generate business for you. But if you're struggling to write an email, there's this amazing tool called ChatGPT, which is amazing to write emails.
It's so good, isn't it?
But like, just there's ways around it. Yes, if you're introverted, then that's fine. But you're also probably really good at other things.
Yeah.
You know, you're probably not a salesperson, but you know, you're probably really good with data, and you're probably really good with, you know, other things within the business that's needed. So it's about, you know, don't focus on things that you're not good at.
Yeah.
Focus on things that you're really good at, and then bring someone in that is really good at things that you're not good at.
So everyone says to me like, what do you do for your books? Like, do you do anything yourself? Like, it's no, the accountant's the expert. I'm going to let the expert do the expert shit.
Yeah.
And I'll focus on growing this. Because I don't want that headache of trying to struggle when someone will probably find it seamless.
Oh, it's really easy.
Yeah. And that's it. It's probably also, and I know it's not necessarily true with the accountant, but I think a lot of people, because I've struggled with this as well, that actually just trusting people to do stuff. Yeah. Because it's like when it's your business, it's your baby. No one's going to work for it like you are.
No.
And being able to delegate, I think in itself is a skill, because people don't underestimate how hard it is to hand that responsibility over, because you know you could do it really well, but you're going to have to probably go through a painful process with anyone that you bring in to sort of get them up to scratch.
Yeah.
Again, something people don't think about.
Important.
The Edge podcast, the mission is to sort of people that have got the idea, take the leap. Yeah. Or for me, I always say take action, just do it.
Yeah.
Now, what is your one piece of advice then? People that maybe have the idea sat on the fence, the people that are dwelling on what do they do? Do I leave my 9 to 5? What is it? Go.
Don't leave your 9 till 5. Not straight away. Figure out whether it's actually going to work for you. Because the main thing is just as long as you're like taking one step forward every single day, doing the best that you can each day, then you are going to succeed. But don't leave your 9 to 5 straight away. Create a side hustle, which is then going to create you more money, or start working on that particular job or that business in the evenings. And then it'll just evolve from that point. But just sort of leaving your job on a Friday, not turning on the Monday, and then calling yourself an entrepreneur on the Monday. You're then going to be back in the job on Tuesday. Just had a great sick day. Well done. But just, you know, always take one step forward. You know, you're going to fall over. It's going to be really hard, but it's going to be the best decision that you ever made.
Perfect. Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
There's
a ton of value in there. I think like having you on the pod is something that we've never really had like your angle, like resell to business owner. And I think for a lot of people, like that is perfect for our audience. So ton of free value there, mate. Really appreciate that. And
buy my course on my Instagram.
Let's setting up a catering company, of course.
But honestly, slide in at any point. You know, message me on Instagram. You know, I'm always there.
We'll plug it on here as well.
Just message me, have a chat. You know, I'm more than happy to have a conversation about, you know, anything business related. You know, just let's have a chat. Why not?
Super friendly guy, guys. Take advantage of it. And thanks for watching. Be back very soon.